Everyone, thank you all for joining us today. Welcome to our RRC Mastermind 808 webinar featuring our guest speaker, Shari Motooka-Higs. My name is Aaron Tangonan, and I am the president-elect of Hawaii RRC and will be your MC for today. Before we introduce our speaker today, though, I'd like to take a moment to let you know we have two CRS courses coming up for 2023. The first course is Next Level Negotiations on August 22nd and 23rd with an expert instructor, Lee Barrett. You don't want to miss this one. He's a very dynamic speaker, and you'll learn a lot on how to negotiate almost everything in life. So you'll get 8 CRS credits and 8 CE elective credits, and you'll see the link to that registration dropped in the chat. The last course of the year is Succeeding in the Luxury Home Market on October 11th and 12th. And actually, this is the #1 requested or attended topic in the RRC arsenal of education. So the instructor here is Jack Cotton, and the chat is in the registration link is in the chat for you. Both courses are actually on Zoom, so it's very convenient. It's from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and you'll earn 8 credits toward your CRS designation and 8 elective Hawaii CE credits. So take advantage of that if you need more education for either of those. And again, the links are in the chat. And speaking of CRS courses, for those of you out there, you may know that there's a designation specifically for agents that do residential sales. It's called the Certified Residential Specialist Designation, or CRS. I'm a CRS, and only 3% of the nation's realtors have earned this designation. So take the courses and learn to boost your business to the next level. You can go to crs.com to learn more, or you can click on the link in the chat and watch our Pathways to CRS video on the many benefits of earning this awesome and amazing designation. And now I'd like to introduce our speaker for today, Shari Motooka-Higs. She's a VP of Web 3.0, blockchain, NFTs, digital twins, a speaker, content creator, and an awesome CE instructor if you've ever taken any of her courses before. She is also a certified senior advisor, has a certification in long-term care, senior living and healthcare communities. She's a seniors real estate specialist, designation instructor, a senior advisor, an age-in-place technician or tech consultant, and has a certification in aging in place. So she's very well-versed and knowledgeable in all these things. She's currently with Locations Hawaii. So please join me in welcoming Shari Motooka-Higs.
Thank you, Aaron and Crystal. I want to thank the Hawaii Association of Realtors and Crystal, also Lisa Van Huzel, who recommended that I present today. Back in March, we had a big CE class on the blockchain where I partner with one of the leading and the #1 blockchain real estate company in the nation. And they came to Hawaii and we had a great event. Lisa was there. So Lisa, thank you so much. But, we always want to support the Hawaii Association of Realtors in their education efforts. And so thank you for having me today. Today I want to present, and the title of the presentation is Convergence of Web3, AI, Blockchain, and Real Estate, and how all of this new technology intersects with our real estate industry. This is a huge area, and I'm going to admit I'm no expert. So why am I speaking today? Well, I've always been so passionate about technology, and I network with some of the people that are experts in this area. And so we are collaborating and bringing some workshops and education classes here in Hawaii so that we can all learn together. And that's what this new phase of the internet is it's about open source, it's about collaboration. And so actually, technically, if you ask most people, and for those of you who are avid YouTube viewers, many of the people there that I consider experts will say they are no experts because this is such a new revolutionary area that everybody seems to be learning together. And for many companies, it's like a gold rush. It's all of this new technology that is rolling out, and who can come up with the newest and best program. So let's get started. There are four main areas that I want to touch upon really quickly, which is Web3. And just today, by the way, is an introductory presentation so that you can get a feel for what is all of this technology about. So to touch upon Web3, blockchain technology, NFTs, and AI. So it's a lot to put into a small, short time, but we will get through it. So let me share my screen and we can get started here. So you all can see this, huh? Wait now. It's like showing everything. Let's start again. Okay, you all can see that, huh?
Yes.
All right. Why is this not advancing? Hold on. Technical difficulties here, hold on.
So while you're doing that, Shari, I just want to remind everybody that if you have any questions, we'll be taking questions at the end of the session. So you can go ahead and type them into the Q&A box, or you can also type that in the chat, and both Aaron and I will be watching for that. So if you have any questions along the way.
How's that, Crystal?
That looks good.
Okay, here we go. And we had it all set up prior. Never fails when you're ready to go live, right?
It's okay.
So today's agenda, and like I said, we just kind of skip through each of them. And if, of course, you have questions, but I want to give you a taste of the different major areas. And first of all is Web3. Okay, we're going to talk about what is Web3. This, people talk about that this is the next generation of the internet. Blockchain technology, which is huge, real estate NFTs, artificial intelligence, and ChatGPT, which seems to be the buzzword these days. And then at the end, we can talk a little bit about AI plugins for ChatGPT. So, this area of Web3 is such a big area that you have major brand companies that are pouring millions of dollars into this. They're reallocating a lot of their resources to focus on this new area of Web3. And experts predict that this is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So already you have some of these brands that you see on the screen have officially announced that they are either on the blockchain or focused on the blockchain and Web3. And one of them is at the top of the screen, you see Starbucks. So Starbucks is one of them that had a major announcement. Same thing with Disney and Nike. Starbucks said they are on the Polygon blockchain. So there are different types of blockchains, but know that many of these companies are pouring millions. So what is the hype? What is the secret behind why all of these companies are so focused on this area? So the first generation of the web, we call Web 1.0, was a version where it was mostly read only and a lot of research. So we went to the web as a means of a resource, right? Getting information. Then when Web 2 came out and evolved, that's when you start to see the social media like Twitter and Facebook emerge. There was online shopping with Amazon, right? And also the internet was more accessible on our mobile devices like our iPhones, which is what Apple really did and launched. In this new generation of the Web 3, they say it's going to be a lot more immersive. And already that is here today. You've got artificial intelligence. What's backing behind a lot of this technology is the blockchain. You got digital assets. What are digital assets? Digital assets is all virtual assets, right? And we'll talk a little bit about digital assets, meaning like for real estate, you can digitize a property, and the things that you can do with that digital property is amazing. You got the emergence of virtual reality, augmented reality, and now mixed reality. So I'll touch upon that as well. But overall, this new generation of the internet is a lot more decentralized versus centralized. So I'll talk about that as well. What are NFTs? Non-fungible tokens. So we'll explain and talk about that. But under the Web3 umbrella, you've got all of this technology, including tokenization, cryptocurrencies. They talk about the metaverse. And once again, how immersive it is. So, you know, when we say immersive, what's different about this new generation of the internet is you're not just looking at a screen like on Zoom, right? Where you're talking with your clients. Imagine a world where you have a digital home, right? And you're in that space with your clients. You can sit down on the couch in your digital home and feel like you're sitting next to your client, right? I've been in the last 3 years, have a small team where we've been studying Web3, and it's exciting. I'm so passionate about it because during COVID, we could be in one of our digital condos or spaces. And I have friends and we're sitting down and we're watching TV or watching a movie. And I feel like I'm sitting next to my friends, but they're in their home or apartment and I'm in my home. And that's what immersive is about. So we'll talk about that as well. So with Web3, the emergence of OpenAI with ChatGPT, you've got cryptocurrencies, you got NFTs, and of course, Facebook changed their company name to Meta. So what is decentralized versus centralized, right? So centralized is what we're used to with most organizations. And one good example is like the financial banking system, right? You go to the bank, but who makes the decisions for the bank? They have a leadership team that makes the decisions on the direction of that particular organization. But with the new emergence of Web3, a lot of the technology is decentralized, meaning you don't have one major authority making the decisions. It's a collaboration of different networks that are making the decisions. So all of us, we are part of that decentralized decision making. What is, okay, we talk about blockchain technology. What is blockchain technology, right? So it is a system of recording information in a way that makes it impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is an immutable digital ledger of transactions. So once again, the key word is immutable, meaning you can never change it and you cannot hack it. So there's proof of ownership, and it is a very secure way of proving that ownership. So assets that can be recorded on the blockchain are tangible assets. Like it can be your car, it can be property like your house or land. That's a tangible asset. Or it can be intangible assets like intellectual property. When you want to copyright, you've created content, that's original content to you. That can be recorded on the blockchain. So there's proof of ownership that that is your information, your content, and you own that. There's branding, patents, NFTs. That's what makes NFTs so valuable. A couple of years ago, there was a big surge of people wanting to buy NFTs. Well, NFTs are tied to the blockchain. Cryptocurrencies also, what is the hype? There are people on both sides of the aisle, right? There are people that say, we think it's a scam. We don't want anything to do with cryptocurrencies. But there are those that are very passionate about cryptocurrencies. Why? Because the true value in cryptocurrencies is the fact that it was based and developed off of the blockchain, but they're looking at more the utility behind those cryptocurrencies. There are thousands of cryptocurrencies, each with different utility or purpose. So that's another thing when it comes to the blockchain. Now, when we say blockchain is immutable, what do we mean by that? That we cannot change it? Well, Shari, what do you mean by it cannot be hacked? Well, how the blockchain is created is when you, for instance, have a transaction and you want to record it on the blockchain, it creates a block that has an algorithm and code attached to that block. However, your block is tied to the block before and the block after you. So the block before will have the recordation and code of your block, and so on. The block behind you does the same. So and imagine it creates this chain of blocks, right? In order for someone to hack your block, they would have to hack the blocks before and after you. And that's virtually impossible. Okay. And that's why blockchain technology, they say, is revolutionary. It is some means or a ledger that is very secure. So that's blockchain technology. What is an NFT? Well, NFT stands for non-fungible token. It is a type of digital asset that represents ownership and proof authenticity of a unique item or piece of content. Using blockchain technology, right, you securing that NFT onto the blockchain that says you own it, no one else can take it from you. Unlike cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum, which are fungible and identical to each other, each NFT is unique. And so one of the common NFTs would be like artwork, photographs, music, and videos. So anything original, people are creating original music and converting it into an NFT. Now, when you buy that particular piece of music, now there's a record on the blockchain that you own that, right? And that transaction is also recorded on the blockchain as well. There are NFTs that have been sold for thousands and thousands of dollars. And there is an NFT that sold for $62 million at Christie's, one NFT. What is the value of that? Well, number one is it's a collectible now. People are collecting NFTs. Secondly, when we talked about digital assets or your digital home, there are people who want to display their rare art or NFT in their digital home now, right? And so That's where the value of the NFT. Now, NFTs can also be tickets, right? So if you go to a concert and let's say it is a concert that's like once in a lifetime, and you want to NFT that ticket because now it has value over the years, people NFT a ticket. So what does that have to do with us in real estate? Well, people are NFTing property, people's homes, right? So that now there is a you tokenizing per se that particular property, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So what is real estate NFTs? How NFTs and the blockchain will impact real estate? Well, when you digitize and automate the process, so there are companies out there, real estate blockchain companies that are doing this. They automate the process, they NFT the property, and you can actually purchase the property on their platform. Fractionalization. So that's one of the big things about tokenization. When they tokenize real estate, there you have the ability to tokenize that property, meaning, and fractionalizing the property. So meaning, let's say you have a $10 million warehouse, commercial property. It's been listed for years, right? And what's difficult is it's hard to find one buyer that wants to purchase that particular warehouse for $10 million. But what if you tokenized it and you fractionalized it, meaning now you can get 10 people each to buy this particular warehouse at $1 million each. And so that's what some companies are looking at when they NFT and tokenize a property. Okay, and like cryptocurrency is what's the appealing part about it is you can buy a fraction instead of an entire coin. So Bitcoin is at $30,000. You want to be able to buy a Bitcoin, but you can't afford $30,000 for one coin. You can buy $100 worth, $200 worth, right? And so when you combine these systems, and I'm not for or against cryptocurrency, what I'm saying is this is what some people are doing now, today. They're using cryptocurrency and they can buy a fraction of the property. Now, can you buy a fractionalized, tokenized property without cryptocurrency using USD, US dollars? Yes, you can. They're separate. So blockchain does not equal cryptocurrency. They're completely different technologies. And then increase liquidity, right? There are now people who can just go and purchase property using US dollars or cryptocurrencies, and the process is quick. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is an umbrella of different specialties. So you have machine learning, and that's one terminology that you might hear. So machine learning, you've got deep learning, you've got natural language models, neural networks. All of these different specialties fall under the umbrella of what's called artificial intelligence. And so chatbots is one part of that natural language model that falls under artificial intelligence. But it doesn't mean that that is everything about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just a wide range of different specialties. What is artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence by machines, especially computer systems. So specific applications of AI include deep learning, like I mentioned, natural language processing, speech recognition, and machine vision. So AI is technology which algorithms are designed to make decisions, often using real-time data. And what is Chat GPT? So many of you have heard this, right? This is all the buzz right now, Chat GPT. And I know for many of you, like, our agents here have played around with Chat GPT, typing in their prompts and seeing what comes up. So OpenAI released a revolutionary new artificial intelligence chat box in November 2022. Can you imagine how recent that is? ChatGPT is a type of chatbot powered by large language models, which is GPT 3.5 and recently GPT-4. So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, a deep learning language. So as AI language models, ChatGPT is designed to generate human-like responses. And with each release of ChatGPT, 1, 2, 3.5, and 4, it gets more and more powerful. So here's the evolution of ChatGPT. In June 2018, you got GPT-1. You've got GPT-2 that came out February 2019. GPT-3, which was in 2020, and then 4 was in 2023. And so they're talking about GPT-5, and they're holding off on that. A good portion of why they're trying to stall GPT-5 is really taking a look at the impact on society, the ethics. And when we, in fact, we're writing a class and we actually having it reviewed now, where ethics plays a big part, no matter what industry you're in, whether it's in financial industry or you're in real estate. Any company that uses GPT needs to realize that a lot of the training for these chatbots are based on information and data that's in the internet. And so if there is prejudices, if there's ethic issues that are already built into the internet, that can play a part in the responses and outcomes that we get when we use ChatGPT. And so for us in the real estate industry, we got to be really careful, because as these models get stronger and we use it, perhaps even lenders are using ChatGPT to help them determine, how to pre-qualify someone. If there are prejudices within that model, then that can be an issue, because we're all about fair housing, right? And equality. So how can ChatGPT be used by real estate licensees, us as realtors? Already, I know many of you have tested it, but for those who didn't, ChatGPT comes in a free version, but it's limited. And oftentimes, people say, oh, it's hard to get on, but you can have a paid version as well. And it's $20 per month about. But what are some of the things that, you can test and play on? Well, we've used it for creating property profiles. You can create websites, create marketing and graphic images, compose a business plan. So if you're looking at, towards the year, and I want to create a business plan for 2024, ChatGPT may be able to help you. You can write scripts and presentations. So for those that, want to get out there and start doing presentations, or perhaps you want to do blogs, or be on YouTube, and you're often stalled by, where do I start to even create new content? ChatGPT can help you with those scripts and presentations as well. Compose music. So if you want background music on your social media and your blogs, it can create those as well. It can help you write emails and text messages. So what I often do is, when I have to write, especially an important letter, I draft my letter. So it's my own words. And then I upload it to ChatGPT, and it comes back so beautiful. It rewords what I want to say, but the message is there. And so far, I've been pleased with using ChatGPT. It can create content for newsletters and even articles. I know oftentimes realtors get asked, hey, can you write an article for our newsletter? Or, it may be in the media. They might ask you to comment or write a short write-up on something. It can pass it through ChatGPT. It can translate and summarize text. One of the things is recently is it can review PDFs. So you've got a whole bunch of PDFs that you got to read. Realtors, they're like, oh, I don't have time to go through all of this. Then you can upload it. It can assist you with property searches, answering questions that someone may have, lead generation, and we'll get into some of that as well. And then being your virtual assistant, being able to help coordinate your appointments. There are systems that go along with ChatGPT, which we'll talk about next, that can help answer calls, right? If you're part of a lead system and you're getting a hard time being able to field a lot of those calls, then you've got so many tools, AI tools available to you today. But being able to schedule your appointments as well, that's a big thing, right? Or imagine, right? And this is how I foresee AI moving into the future, is being able to expand your market beyond Hawaii shores. And with the time difference, you could be sleeping and having AI be able to respond and help field some of that calls that may be coming out of state or even abroad in different countries. AI can be used to even help you translate. And that's one of the things that we work on, or I work on here with my team, is I manage our Japanese speaking team. I don't speak Japanese, but oftentimes I create content and I say, okay, I want this to be translated into Japanese. I have it translated, but then I can run it past our team to see, is this accurate? Right? And oftentimes it does a really good job. And that's something that can help you grow your business, your international business as well. So ChatGPT plugins, this is sort of a hot new area, but do you know that ChatGPT has hundreds of plugins that you can use in coordination or collaboration with ChatGPT? I listed some of the top 6 here, which are Prompt Perfect, which can help, and prompting with these new, whether you're using Google Bard, which is Google's version of ChatGPT, or Microsoft's ChatGPT, there is a whole art and science to prompting. And if you take the time to learn, in fact, one of the things they say is one of the newest areas career-wise for many companies is being able to hire prompt engineers. So there is a whole art and science to being able to master how to best create prompts for these AI programs. So Prompt Perfect is one that can help you. Open Table, I know for many of us, we like to take our clients out, we like to entertain. Open Table has a plugin for ChatGPT that can help you search available times and restaurants that you may like. So Open Table is one of them. You've got, and you can research many of these. There's, like I said, hundreds and hundreds. Kayak helps you, with your travel plans, but ChatGPT with PDF is one of them that I was telling you about, that if you need to have a PDF, a long PDF perhaps, summarized, you don't have time to read all of that, right? Or you want to be able to have AI grab the main points of this particular document. Chat with PDF is one of them as well. One of the things I noticed that I skipped is the area of augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. For some reason, I don't see it on my screen. But when we talk about how Web3 incorporates all of this technology, but it's also very immersive. I know you may have heard or may not have heard that Apple is coming out with their VR in early 2022, 2024, sorry. The Apple Vision Pro, right? So what are some, when we say immersive, you know, people are using these virtual headsets for real estate to be able to, we talked about digitize a property. And then imagine if you have clients that are out of state and they want to preview, let's say 8 properties to cut down on the time. You know, there's going to be a time when everyone has a headset. In fact, Meta talks about condensing at one point their Quest into the size of Ray-Bans glasses. And so people are using VR and AR in education. Imagine your kids learn about the planets, a planetary system, but feel immersive as if they're standing there among the galaxy and looking at all of these planets. Or they learn about history and perhaps learning about Rome and actually feel like they're walking down the streets of Rome. But in real estate, for that client that I talked about, who maybe contact you and say, hey, I found 8 properties that I want to look at. I want to be able to preview them. It's more than just Metaporting a property. When you digitize a property, it's immersive where people feel like you are in the space with them, walking around the floor plans. They may say, hey, I want to look at this bedroom. Let's go here. And you say, absolutely, right? And based on their virtual walkthrough, okay, I narrow it down to these 3 properties. So when I come in, I know I want to look at these 3. And this is the kind of stuff that we're looking at now, and it's here. Being able to look at maybe commercial property. Your client flies in and says, hey, there's this warehouse I want to look at. I want to be able to bring in all of my inventory. What can this look like? Well, right now it's a big empty warehouse. But with augmented reality, you can show them, just like virtual staging, but be able to show them in the real space right before their eyes what some of that setup may look like. So that's AR, VR. A lot of this technology, like I said, is here today. It's not tomorrow. People are using these type of technologies now. So one of the things that we, like I mentioned in the beginning, is that we actually partnered and brought in one of the top blockchain real estate companies here in the nation, and we brought them into Hawaii called Propi, and they have a certification class for realtors. So we brought them in March, and it's 5 elective credits. Now, if you are interested, then, you know, through Crystal, maybe you can contact me, and when we get our next release on our class, we can let you know. But this is a 5-hour class full of information. When you first hear about this type of technology, it can be overwhelming, right? But if you continue to take the time to learn this area, and it may not be for everyone, you know, people have different rates of adoption. Some people adopt quickly and say, oh my gosh, this is the best technology that we've seen in a long time. And this is going to be, this is groundbreaking, right? And then there are those that like, well, no, you know, we're not into that. right? We've actually had training here at our company and found that to be true. There are people that knock on the door and say, oh my gosh, how can I learn more? And there, those are like, what is this? Is this sort of like a game kind of thing, you know, with the headset and everything? So there are different rates of adoption. But if you are interested, I want to encourage you. There's a lot of information on YouTube, instructional information that is really, really good. If you email me, I can actually send you a couple of the videos that I really like, that talks all about, you know, this type of technology. But uh, this is a class that is approved at the state of Hawaii, and it's the crypto, blockchain, and real estate CE elective course with 5 credits. We actually have workshops that we've been putting on a monthly basis. Some of them are with the companies on the mainland that offer the workshops. They go through their platform. They show you. And when I say their platform, it's their listing platform. And so these are platforms that you can put your listings on, and people, there are realtors from all over the nation and even international that view the listings on this platform. So we've been holding workshops. So if you're interested in the workshops and you have not attended, then you can email me. Another resource in how we get information out. And like I said, I've been to Hilo for their Board of Realtors presentation. And we're doing more and more with some of the associations here in Hawaii. We don't charge the associations. We feel, or I feel strongly about getting this information out so that you know a little bit more about this type of technology. But one other way that we do get the word out is you can join our Facebook group, which is the 808 Real Estate Web3 AI Metaverse Blockchain NFT crypto group. So that's all encompassing. But this is how we get the word out on upcoming workshops and classes. We have pre-classes, but before we actually hold the CE class, we had pre-workshops because a lot of realtors were saying, well, we don't know what we're signing up for. We don't know what this is about, right? But so I wanted to thank you for your time. Please, if you have questions, if I can answer them, I will. But this is an exciting new area. Like, I just think it's so fun. Aside from the real estate side, you know, my friends and I are able to have go and attend exercise classes, and you're attending classes from people from all different states, right? In different environments. So we do kickboxing, or, you know, the medical field is using AR and VR more and more, where interns can actually practice and view surgeries without actually working on a cadaver of real people, right? So they're using in training in all different fields. So why not real estate, right? Okay, Aaron, are there any questions?
There's one question here, referring to the Facebook group you mentioned. What is the name of that Facebook group?
Oh, it's right there on the screen. So it's called 808 Real Estate Web 3.0, comma, AI, Metaverse, Blockchain, NFT, Crypto Group.
Okay, got it. So they can keep up with your upcoming courses and workshops through
Yes.
that Facebook group. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so we've been having, I team up with a young guy, graduated with his master's in artificial intelligence. He is remotely working here in Hawaii. I asked him, can you help with workshops for realtors? I don't know how long he'll be remotely working here. He actually is a machine learning engineer in California. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So we're creating another class, CE class. I can't announce it because I don't know if it's going to be approved, but it is an AI class for realtors. So when, if and when that happens, and we still want to have our workshops, then we will put it on this 808 Real Estate Web3 class as well. Facebook group, we'll put that on there. We also have workshops with a company called Proppy that is, like I said, they're the #1 blockchain real estate company. They've got their certification class. So that we got approved in Hawaii. That's the one we had in March. We're looking at another session. That was 100, maybe 80 people that attended. But prior to that, we had pre-classes. After the class, we had workshops. So not just to leave you hanging like, okay, you take the class, you got the certification, now what? So we've been having workshops so that the students that attend can get a demonstration on the platform. And when you take the class, you can put your listings on the platform for free. So it has audience that is beyond what Hawaii has. So another thing that I wanted to point out is the NAR, which is a National Association of Realtors, supports these companies like Proppy. They actually invested capital in Proppy. And the CEO, Natalia, was a keynote speaker at one of the NAR events. Also, there is a company, national company that is in Hawaii, and I'm not going to name them, but they, on a national basis, signed an agreement with Proppy. Now, there are other companies as well. There's DigiShare and there's other companies. And so today's goal and objective was get your feet wet, right? If you haven't been exposed or understand each of these areas, then I wanted to give you and highlight each of the areas. Now, if you wanna and you're interested, get a deeper dive into these areas, because each of these areas can be its own course, then look out for our workshops. So we have our workshops, we've had our pre-classes, we have meetups together with the people that I partner with that are much more experts. They're more experts than I am, but we at the hub, maybe we're looking at, more things with Entrepreneur Sandbox as well. So those meetup places are wonderful and a gathering place for a lot of tech professionals in different areas, in different sectors. So yes.
So there's two more questions. That's awesome.
Okay.
Good information. So there's a question here that says, I researched that the metaverse has created a real estate industry where individuals can actually buy properties. Can you provide any insights on how a realtor can get involved in the purchasing of real estate in the metaverse?
Well, first of all, there's different metaverses and different digital land platforms. So there is Sandbox, Decentraland, right? The multiverse. So I bought digital property. I have many, many condos that I purchased. Has it gone up in value? It has. Because when a platform first rolls out, that's the cheapest. And so just like real estate, you can sell, you can buy and sell, you can flip it. The particular platform that I'm in, I see realtors walking around and showing people, I don't know that they can make a commission. I don't know how they're structuring that, but you can purchase property. Digital real estate in some platforms are going for a higher price than physical real estate. And really based on demand and inventory, right? And so some digital properties go for millions of dollars. And I know it's confusing to you because you're thinking, well, it's digital. It's not even real estate. You still need a physical home to live in, right? Well, yes. But what people are doing is they're creating you can buy digital land and then build a home of your dreams, right? You can create any decor. You can digitize, let's say, real assets. Like you have an heirloom piece in your home. You can digitize that, create a 3D image, and bring it into your digital home. Now, the appeal with the digital home is you can have parties. You can invite all of your friends into your digital home. Yet they can be in California, they can be in New York, but they can attend your party virtually. There are many businesses that are in the digital world. There are commercial businesses, there's insurance companies, anywhere from that type of company, a financial company. And I've even been and met up with a psychic that's in the digital world, where you actually go in and you can go sit down with her and she can go tell you your future. I picked up my first real estate client in the metaverse.
Mm.
And I met her. She actually lives in Hawaii. And to this day, I've never met her in person. But she is contacted me and said, hey, I want to buy a property in Japan. I live in Hawaii. Can your company help me? So just hook them up with our partners in Japan. Realtors go and try to network where people gather and make that, hoping that this is a place where you can make connections. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that are gathering in these digital spaces. So in answer to your question, yes, you can, in the metaverse, you can buy property, you can sell property. As a realtor, if you have friends, and how can you make money is you have friends or relatives or people within your network that are interested in purchasing property. If you learn the process and how to do it, then you can help them. And that's how I see realtors in their role. Now, one of the questions, Aaron, that I get asked most often, like I go to the Big Island, I've done presentations on the neighbor islands and here, will this technology replace realtors? And I honestly feel it won't. What I do feel, and what a lot of experts say is, we won't be replaced by AI, but we'll be replaced by the people who use AI. And that's why, you know, for those that in the beginning did not accept the internet, they're like, oh, you know, there's things out there that people say, oh, it'll never amount to anything. And look at where we are today. So this is definitely, in my opinion, and don't take my word for it, I really implore you to do your own research, is that this is the next generation of the internet. I think people say it's big. It's going to be huge. I think it's going to impact businesses all across the board in all industries. And it already is. Okay, what's the next question?
All right, so there's two more questions. Piggyback on that one. The question is, but purchasing NFT properties, you don't actually own anything physical? Question mark? That's the question.
No, so you actually do. So NFT is to tokenize actually a real property. I'll give you an example. So in California, and I think this is documented with Proppy, is there was a developer in the, I think it was, he completed his project towards the beginning of COVID. And so sales it wasn't a good time to launch a new project. And so he did something innovative where he digitized his project, and how he marketed it is he said, and I think this appealed to a lot of millennials, is when you buy a unit in my project for free, I will give you the digital twin of that unit. And that digital twin or NFT is tied to the blockchain. And so there's proof of ownership. So yes, people ask, well, how does that come into play? Do we still record the transaction on the Bureau of Conveyances or Land Court here in Hawaii? Yes. They're not saying to divert from the current process, but there is a added security of proof of ownership. So now on the mainland, the title companies, some of them, what they're doing is when you pull the prelim up, there's a QR code on the prelim. You scan that QR code and it ties it to takes it to the block on the blockchain that is associated or related to that particular transaction. Now you can upload through smart contracts on the blockchain your title report, your condo docs, your trust papers, anything that is a vital document. Now it's on a blockchain that's immutable and cannot be hacked. Now I talked to our escrow company, people here, and they said, oh, it's a problem. There's scams that are continuously going on. I remember just not too long ago where a guy came in and trying to sell a property. Well, there was a tiny red flag, right? But they was able to dive deeper and found out that guy doesn't own the property. So we called in the real owner and he goes, oh, I have no intention of buying. I mean, selling rather, sorry, right? So this guy is trying to sell someone else's property. Another thing is when subdivide a property, one of our agents, her classmate had an issue where it was subdivided a long time ago, but with the state, apparently there was some sort of error where it showed that it wasn't subdivided. And so the neighbor who had the other parcel took her to court. So finally, when everything was all cleared up, I said, maybe you should have your friend go have this now recorded on the blockchain, right? So
Interesting.
hope that answers your question.
Okay. So then the next question, we have a couple. I hope we have enough time for them all. Have you tried using ChatGPT for CMA research? And to piggyback on that, where does that CMA data come from?
Good question. So ChatGPT, if you ever, did a bunch of prompts, sometimes the response or outcome will come back that, oh, the information is only up to September, was it 2021 or something like that. It may not come back with current information. And so I've never used it for CMAs, more generalized information. No, I have not used it for CMAs. Could try,
Oh,
but
that's where AI might not replace realtors.
no, but here you go though. There are more and more plugins, and Zillow has a plugin,
Ah, interesting.
which is
Oh.
huge. So you go into ChatGPT, right? And then you click on at the top, the GPT-4, you can choose from hundreds of plugins, and there are real estate plugins for ChatGPT, which may assist you. I believe Redfin too, but there are more and more every week. Supposedly there are hundreds, and then on AI side, there are thousands of new programs every single month. So this is getting a lot more powerful as time goes on, So I've not used it for CMA, but it's not to say that you can't try with the plugins that are released and available even now.
So going back to the NFT property owning, and you mentioned the title companies, are the title companies insuring the title of that NFT?
Yes, so in Hawaii, we're a little bit behind. But on the mainland, there are title and escrow companies that are working with companies, these real estate blockchain companies that are, and I think they've done millions of transactions already. Some of them have been, a lot of them with these companies are using the blockchain, but they have their own title and escrow companies. And some of these workshops are, the speakers are the title and escrow companies. So if you're interested, email me and we can tie you into some of these workshops in what they're doing now. So yes, title and escrow companies are insuring and working on these types of transactions. When you have a listing on these platforms, you can opt and say, I'm willing to accept crypto. I'm willing to accept only US dollars.
All right, and our last two questions. The short question, are there plugins for Bard? And the second question, which is the most important blockchain? Are each blockchain tied to a certain cryptocurrency?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first one is, I'm not a big user of Bard yet. So I don't know about the plugins so far, but one thing that I do like about Bard, and I've tried it a couple of times, is they are on the internet. So they have the most updated data and information. And then to your second question on I'm sorry, what was that, Aaron?
Which is the most important blockchain?
The blockchain.
And are each blockchains tied to a certain cryptocurrency?
Yes, so in answer to your question, I like, certain cryptocurrencies have different blockchains, and I give you examples of Bitcoin, right? Ethereum. How do I best explain it? So Ethereum is what in real estate transactions, like property uses Ethereum and the Ethereum and that particular blockchain. Ethereum tends to be associated with like smart contracts. That's why. You've got the Polygon blockchain. Polygon, I noticed that there are a lot of big box retail companies like Walmart and Starbucks, and I believe Disney have chosen the Polygon blockchain. And so for those that are investors in cryptocurrency, they're not necessarily looking at today's value, but they're looking at what is the future utility of these blockchains and what these companies, the projects that they're working on. So it's almost like you're investing in the project. And so, Starbucks have said, their loyalty program, they're loyal when you go in and you're buying coffee maybe every day and you're getting, loyalty points. That is an NFT now. And that particular program is on the Polygon blockchain. But like I said, there are thousands and thousands of cryptocurrencies. So not all cryptocurrencies have their own blockchain. There are first generation and second generation cryptocurrencies. So Ethereum is a first level cryptocurrency, but then you've got cryptocurrencies that are layer 2 that are built on top of the Ethereum. So I don't want to confuse it anymore. What I
It's very
do
complicated.
suggest though is that please, if you're interested, don't take my word for everything. Do your research. Things are moving so quickly. I admit I am no expert. I'm trying to share information that I've learned over the last 3 years that I've been really, passionate and involved and trying to learn as much as I can with the team and friends that I have. I think I've got good connections that sort of guide me. I think consider them mentors and experts in the area. But we want to share that information with you. And so that's why we actually have workshops, not just for realtors, but it's open to professionals from all different industries. And that's how I like to learn, is just to sit around a table and collaborate. What have you learned? What questions do you have? Hearing other people's answers. That's how I learn best. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, before we wrap it up, thank you so much, Shari.
Aaron,
I
thank
remind
you.
Yeah, I
Crystal,
want to
thank
remind
you so
everyone
much.
to complete the evaluation before you leave. And again, clearly, Shari is an expert and has a depth of knowledge
No.
on these topics. So if you want to join her or watch her YouTube videos, you can email her at shari.motooka-higa@locationshawaii.com. Once again, thank you everyone for coming and attending. And again, Shari, thank you so much for the information and your time. That was very, very well said and a lot of work for us to research. So we look forward to
Good.
the next one.
All right. Aaron, thank you so much. Crystal,
Shari.
thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
HAR, thank you.